Welcome to the 98ers, right on cue with Bash, with the
back in the house
stables.
tonight.
You just heard the stables, and we also have a very sad but smiley Mark Romano, our Yankees in-house correspondent. Tough night to be a Yankees fan, Mr. Romano.
Very, very, very tough night. I'm telling you what. But, the thing is, sometimes you just have to be realistic. You have to be objective about a situation. You have to say to yourself that they're getting beaten by a better team right now. I mean, I think that's clear by any objective measurement. So sometimes you just got to accept it for what it is. And that's what it is.
I think, and let's bring Mr. Schooley on. Oh, he's in his car. We're the number one show to call in your car, apparently, on the internet. So,
yes, we're all about traffic safety here.
I think Mr. Schooley would agree with that.
Yeah. So we talked about yesterday. If you could get to their pitching early, then we were going to take that game, and that's what happened. Now it's down to one game.
Yeah, I don't like our chances. I can be honest with you.
No,
yeah.
Tomorrow,
So
I think take that.
Oh man, that's it, huh? That was the nail in the coffin tonight. Tomorrow they end this. So yeah, so game 3, we won, by the way, 8-4. And I mean, what can you say? It was a pretty good game for the Rays. Another bunch of home runs, some good pitching by Morton. And that was the matchup going into this, and we talked about it last night. How's that matchup going to go? You got Morton and Tanaka, and if you look at the tail of the tape, it was Morton that won that battle.
Yeah, well, and we were kind of talking about it, Romano and I were before the show, and it was not just the home runs from the Rays, but also the hitting in front of it. Those are all multi-run homers, except for the one solo shot. They're all multi-run homers. That made the big difference. If these were 1-run homers, then maybe that's a 5-2 game, and then that Stanton home run makes it 5-4. That's a whole different ball game. But having those guys on base and then coming through with those home runs, I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, the thing we talked about this before, and the Rays sort of play a brand of baseball that, as a Yankees fan, I'm sort of envious of at times, because we don't do nearly enough of that. We don't put the ball in play enough. We don't steal bases. We don't go first to third. Yeah, too many strikeouts. I mean, so there's a way to win ball games, and the Rays have this formula where it seems like year after year, no matter who the players are, the formula still exists and still is successful. And that's really amazing to watch as a Yankee fan, who we have all the big names and all that other kind of thing. But a lot of times it's feast or famine when it comes to what they do when they bat. So it's kind of interesting to see the dichotomy between the two franchises and how they go about how they approach things. We all know about the payroll disparity and all that. That's been going on for a long, long time. But it's fun to watch them because you've got these guys like tonight, like Perez, and I know Kiermaier's been here for a while, but he breaks out tonight, and then Shooter, Randy, your guy. I mean, the guy's he's out of his mind right now. So
Randy's looking dandy.
Yeah, I mean, these players that come from these trades and people that are unheralded and they seem to fit right into the scheme of what they're doing here, and it always seems to be successful, no matter who the players are. So that's a testament to the front office, to the management, to everybody. So it's there you go. So
that's our guy, Tampa Bay. He's on fire.
That's it.
What's the record he broke? Most consecutive multi-hit playoff games for the Rays.
Yeah.
Almost for the MLB, because I don't think he got up again after they started walking, right?
650 in the postseason or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. What a series in playoffs so far he's had.
Well, and now he's at what? He's 3 games in a row with a homer now, or 4 games in a row now. He's right behind Stan, because Stan came in and did it 5, but in his first 5 though, right? Because it's his first postseason ever, right? For Stanton.
Stanton, he's been in the postseason before.
Okay, because they were saying it was his first 5 games, so I guess it's just 5 games in a row.
Yeah, could be.
5 home runs in 5 straight games. That's never been done in the postseason. Well, here you got Randy. He's got 3 in a row. So we could have 2 guys in the same series go 5 games in a row. Although this, I don't know if this series goes 5, but at least we get 4 here.
And then you're gonna hear my fellow Yankee fans who will bitch and complain about the strike him out, throw him out. Was it a strike? Was it not a strike? It looked like a strike. It might have been a little low. Whatever the case, the fact of the matter is there are still base runners all over the place. Kiermaier still hits the home run the next inning. So I understand that, but at the same time, you can't hang your head on that. Really, the game turned even before that. I mean, when the bases were loaded with 1 out, Yankees only get 1 run, and then the next innings when Kiermaier hits the home run, and then they're off to the races. So there's so many chances in a ball game to make it happen, and they just didn't when they needed to. So again, you got to be realistic and objective about these things when you watch them. As much as we root for our teams and we want them to win, you still got to be somewhat realistic about the outcome when you see it. So
no, this is Tampa. We're not realistic.
Yeah, you're on the wrong show, buddy.
Yeah, right.
This is totally biased, 100%. In fact, I'm muting your microphone for the next 15 minutes. So but I will give myself a shameless plug. If you want to message me at Shooty Shoots with any cool stats or tweets that you see, or at me, you can do that, and I'll put them up here during the show. Or for anyone that's a Rays fan that wasn't watching us while we helped the Lightning win the Stanley Cup with our motivational talks after the games like these, you can put your post up here. And if it's a good post like this one from John McKay, which honestly I didn't even read first, so it could be horrible. So I was really kind of rolling the dice right there, John McKay. So I hope you're still here. But it looks like this is the matchup that I wanted to see might happen. Braves versus Rays. John McKay looking ahead there, looking ahead. But, give us your comments. And we do award, as Amy Moore knows, we award you with some kind words if you give us one of the tweets or comments of the night in the chat. Anyway, back to the game. Thomas, what? Tell us some more. You barely talked. Looks like you're at a bread light or something. It looks safe. Go ahead.
No, I'm sitting at a Publix.
Don't get lost in the parking lot, dude.
They didn't listen to us. They didn't walk Stanton and let him do that homer again. But we still talked about how this is supposed to be a pitcher's park, but yet we keep seeing the long ball. And this whole series has been nothing but the long ball. And it's just unreal in this park. If after these playoffs they don't call it a pitcher's park no more, if this becomes a hitter's park. Because it seems like two teams have solved it.
Well, they changed the park up a little bit.
Yeah, they moved the
3 years ago.
Yeah,
they brought in the outfield a little bit, and they tightened up those corners a little bit too. So they definitely have adjusted this park from when it was first built.
Too many Padres were bitching about too many outs. Too many foreigners.
When the home team didn't want, home team wants more homers for them, not, so.
It's got to be like Yankee Stadium where you hit a ball 300 feet and it goes out,
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. So, but the other thing too is that you talk about that swing, because in the inning before the KK homer, the Yankees had the bases loaded, only got one out. But before that, there was one on, and G-Man Choi sent that ball for a ride and barely missed it. And Aaron Judge made a fantastic catch right there at the wall with that snow cone. So that right there, I thought was going to set the tone for the game. It was like, oh man, one of these teams is going to have to work to really make the play happen. And then all of a sudden, sure, like you said, to strike them off, throw them out, they can bitch about that, but you left a hanger to KK, and we watched the post-game interview with him. He was looking for that pitch after yesterday, and after the way they know that he pitches them, and he even said 300 against Tanaka. He came in with an agenda, and that first pitch he was swinging, he was aggressive, and there was no doubt that ball was gone off his bat. So. That was the big play right there. When you saw that, the inning before was like, oh, the Rays just missed getting that 2-run homer. The Yankees had the bases loaded, only get one run with one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next inning, so it was really those two early innings and those two situations really kind of, were pivotal early on. It's like, oh man, it's going to be a real tight game, and then suddenly, the Rays just decided to break it open.
Yeah, they had him on the ropes, right? They had Morton on the ropes for sure in that inning, and they let him off the hook, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He got out of that inning, Morton, and kind of turned it around, because he was kind of wild. He threw a bunch of balls in a row and got some good calls too. Got some really good help from the refs there, or up there too, with some of those strikes that were. By the way, we're talking about that every episode so far. When are we going to go to the technology is just letting us know if this is a strike or not?
Exactly. I mean, he was 3-0 to Voit and came back and got him out. So I mean, that could have been a bases loaded walk, and then here you go, and he comes back and he gets him after being down 3-0. So
yep.
Those are the kind
big
of
walks,
things, those are the kind of things that turn games around. But I'm with you, Shooter. We need that computerized strike zone for sure. Get these guys out there.
That could have been the Yankees moment, and Amy here in Stash said it, that 3-run shot by KK, no doubt about that one, was huge, and that was the backbreaker tonight for the Yankees. And we talked about it before we jumped on. It just seemed like after that, it was like we could have started the post-game show. But we could have started the post-game show in the 6th inning?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dirty Randy. All right, what else do you guys see out there? I didn't do the whole game breakdown because we kind of talked about the key moments. But I can give a shout out to everyone that scored this evening.
13 hits again, man.
Michael Perez.
Yeah, Perez coming big. 8 homers out of the 8th and 9th spot. Multi-run homers coming out of the 8 and 9 spot tonight.
Yeah, and Perez had that first RBI.
Yep.
Hey, Scooter, your boy Meadows is 0 for 4, though.
He did not turn his game around. It's tough when you haven't played, I'm sure, especially a sport like baseball where it's all about precision. You can't just rely on like being a football player and just being huge and knocking people over and tackling.
Yeah, brute strength.
You've got to really be honed in to hit a baseball.
Even Stamkos come in a game and score a goal immediately.
That's right.
Yeah,
and then say peace.
Yeah, but see, I was just gonna say though, because even in hockey, like you can kind of come in and just be at the right place at the right time, and that gets you going again. You don't just get to be in the right place at the right time in baseball. You gotta be making things happen on purpose. So, yeah.
Here's a question for you, Romano. John McKay, what's going on, John? What did you guys think of the pinch hitter for a guy who did not hit?
Not sure what that means.
What did the Yankees hit someone or send in a pinch hitter? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Did they do a lineup change? I don't know, because there was Ford. Didn't Ford have an at bat there late in the?
Oh yeah.
game?
Ford did come in and he did bat in the ninth inning. Maybe that's what he's referring to. Yeah, he did that. But Ford's he's a guy that comes off the bench and more of a role player, kind of thing. But at that point, they had kind of moved some people around. They had Gardner in the left field, and it was just throw something out there and see what happens at that point. That was pretty much it. Oh,
cool.
Like that game was over in the fifth inning. It felt like.
Yeah, definitely. I felt the same way. I was just sitting here waiting. I had it on my laptop as we were streaming it in the green room. And I was freaking playing Assassin's Creed on the Xbox, just waiting for it to get done. Come on. I see you pacing around on the phone, Romano, like, the game was over. We were waiting for tomorrow already.
Making a very important phone call. Yeah.
I would tell Romano we should open it up, because what we did is we were sitting here watching the game together.
Yeah.
For not the entire game, but a lot of it. And I still don't think I noticed how TBS was saying Perez, because
Nikki, my wife, this is the first thing my wife said. She's like, is that how it's pronounced?
How do they say it? They say it like it's S at the end, like Perez?
No. They were saying like Perez or Perez. It was saying they were saying more like Perez instead of Perez.
Like Perez.
Yeah, Perez or instead of Perez.
Perez.
Yeah. It was a little weird, but actually it was actually really weird, because every time they said his name, I was like, that's not. I don't think that's how you say it. You're not saying the way you say it. But
3 RBIs, 2 for 4. You can call him whenever you want.
They were talking a lot. They were definitely saying his name a lot tonight.
I don't care what you call him as long as he's scoring.
Yeah, right. And now the best part for the Rays is that they didn't have to even use their bullpen much tonight in terms of the studs, so they'll be ready to go tomorrow night to close it out. So that's another thing. No high pressure situation tonight for them, and so now they're set up. I'll be interested to see who they actually start tomorrow. I know they haven't. I don't think they've actually announced a starter. Probably just be an opener of some sort, I would imagine. But we'll have to see. Jordan Montgomery is not going to get it done tomorrow for the Yankees. They're going to have to hope he can give 3 or 4 innings and then try to piece it together with the bullpen on the Yankees side, because even though he is a starter, he hasn't been very good this year, and so we'll see. I don't know. Not optimistic, but I guess anything can happen. If we can get it to Game 5, then you've got Garrett Cole at Game 5, and then who knows?
Right.
So you don't think that they'll start Cole for Game 4, facing elimination?
No. They've already said
0% chance.
They've already announced Montgomery as the starter. So I mean, everybody will be available tomorrow night, and in theory, they could throw him out there in relief, I guess. But the problem is if you start him tomorrow and then you win, but then who do you go to in Game 5? So it's kind of like when do you use him? Plus, he's starting on 3 days rest tomorrow, as opposed to 4 on Friday. So it's a tough call, but I just feel like they feel like they have nowhere else to go if they win, and then who they in Game 5. So,
which is really kind of interesting to me, man. I don't ever really remember the Yankees having an issue with starting rotation depth. They've had in a series. You're like, who are we giving the ball to? It's like,
the Rays are much deeper. They're a much deeper team right now from the starting rotation perspective. I mean, Severino got hurt a while back, so he would normally be in that spot too. So that would lengthen the rotation. You'd have him, Tanaka, and Cole as your top 3. But since you don't have him there, there's a big gap between the top 2 and then the rest. So then the Rays can come back in Game 5 and pitch whoever they want at that point. And they can pitch, they can pitch Snell, they can pitch Morton, pitch whomever. So,
I think you put Snell out there, and you're not going to get the same Game 1 Snell in Game 5. If you ask me, I think you're going to see a much better performance from the number 1 guy if it goes to Game 5.
And a much shorter leash too if he does get in trouble. So
exactly. So it doesn't look good. That's for sure for the Yankees. I don't know if he's watching, but I got a friend of mine that I went and saw him yesterday. We kind of ran into each other, and I was like, he's a big Yankees fan. He's all about Lightning and Bucks and everything else, but he's a big Yankees fan, being from New York, whatever. And when I saw him after game one before the game yesterday, he's like, oh, it's over, man. The Yankees are putting up 9 runs a game. They're putting out this guy and Tanaka tomorrow. I'm like, all right, man, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but I'm not going to call you out by name, bro, but I'm probably going to send you a little bit of a shady text tomorrow. I'll be like, yo, what's up? I'm going to throw some shade because you said it was all but done. And now, who's on the ropes now? It's all we know. It's not the Rays.
Yeah, we talked about that after game one. We're like, oh, this series is going to go a little ways. And I knew that it wasn't like they were going to dispatch the Rays quickly. I knew this was going to be a tough series, and it certainly has been so far for the Yankees. So,
yeah.
Romano, it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I said so far.
You can still do it. You can still do it. It's okay. The Rays, I know the Rays are really good. I know they're really good this season.
Oh, it's not over yet.
They are. I mean, and I think
feels like it is, though. Feels like it is.
They were talking about that, on the broadcast again, just how good this Rays team really is. Like, you don't really talk about it a lot, but it's a really good team. Like,
good.
They don't have. Oh, I gotta plug in. Forgot to need some juice.
Timeout. Send it to a commercial break. Thomas disappeared too. I hope he didn't wreck his car or anything.
He's going in public.
He needed a pub sub.
Yeah, dude, chicken tender. No, they close at 10 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely closed.
Back to Kiermaier here. Kind of an eerie stat here. Game 3 last year. Go ahead, 3-run home run. Same day of the year, 1 year ago. Game 3 ALDS.
Wow, the Matrix is broken. There's a glitch in the Matrix. We've already seen this one before.
Yeah. But I'll take a KK home run anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime I can get one. All right, so are we pretty sure we know that? Or no, we don't know yet who the Rays are going to throw out there to pitch, right?
Yeah, who's your best guess?
Good question. I like your theory that you were saying before the broadcast of the opener and maybe trying to get the advantage that way, and then kind of, knowing these two managers, Cash kind of getting that last jab in by pulling the move that Boone tried to pull the other night in game 2.
Right.
But maybe it backfires too. So I think it'd be a great storyline.
How we do it.
Stuff doesn't happen. What do you think, Stash? Throw Snellzilla back in there?
No, not tomorrow.
The Rays. The thing about the Rays is they can do so many different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other crazy thing about it too, is that you're coming from the Yankees perspective. It's like you got to kind of, you want to get your team ready mentally for what you got to do tomorrow. And if you're still not sure who you're going to be batting against or how you're going to start this thing out and what your strategy is going to be, as in the box at the plate, then that makes it hard. So there's mind games that the Rays are able to play right now. They're running on all cylinders, man. This is a team that I think any other team that's coming to watch them come down the schedule, man, you don't want to play the Rays right now.
I agree wholeheartedly. Maybe you'll get your chance at the Astros. I wanted to get a chance at them. Maybe we still will this year. But either way, one of us will beat them. I'm hoping.
Right.
One of them.
Ron, you sound like you should have the white flag out.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying. Because here's the thing. We cannot allow Houston, after all that crap that they pulled, to then go to the World Series not cheating in theory. That would not be good for either one.
That would be some bullshit. But I do like the idea of everyone else now rooting for the Rays if they can pull this game off or another win in the next 2 games.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. If the Yankees win tomorrow night, then are they the favorite for game 5? I mean, are they going to be like they're back in the driver's seat now with Cole going in game 5?
I don't think so.
No,
Good question.
I
I
don't
think
so.
I would give them the advantage if they pull off game 4 just straight up because the pitching duel. The Rays have always had trouble with Cole, but you don't know what else was involved in that either
yeah, true.
before the Yankees, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Although he did strike out like 13 guys the other night, so
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. I'd give the Yankees the advantage in game 5, but that's why I don't see the Rays letting them get there though.
I know if the Yankees can somehow win this game tomorrow night, then I feel pretty good as a Yankee fan. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Got to get there. Sure.
Instead,
I mean, it'd be interesting to see the spray chart to see how they're hitting. And do you want to come out with a righty as your opener, or a lefty? I'm on the same school that Yarbrough, like as Amy. That Yarbrough will be the follower of the opener. So I mean, if you're going with him as your guy coming in second or third, as a lefty, maybe do you want to start as a righty and then come as a lefty? Kind of what the Yankees, like we were saying, were trying to do, maybe.
Yeah,
so you're able to stack your lineup exactly.
Yeah.
But again, like they said, if you don't give them enough time to know who they're facing, then they aren't going to be able to set the lineup either way.
Well, the thing is, guys, is that the Yankees don't have very many options, no matter who pitches. So, realistically speaking, they're probably at this point. I'd be surprised if they start Sanchez tomorrow again. I think he's kind of, lost his spot, if you will. So that's maybe they could put Frazier in for Gardner, but outside of that, they don't have too many other options. I mean, they're pretty much who they are at this point from a lineup perspective. So righty lefty, they don't have too many moves they can really make, regardless of who pitches for the Rays. So
that's a good point.
Do you guys know? Question from John, the blind donkey runner. Did you catch who the TV broadcasters were on TBS?
I know. Ron Darling was the color guy. He was the analyst, and I can't forget the play-by-play. I forget his name now. The guy that does play-by-play. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But it was definitely Ron Darling was the analyst for sure.
Amy here now. I remember Amy. I remember hearing Perez.
Yeah, Perez. Yeah.
Yeah. Made me hungry for a fruity snack.
I like Perez. Do you like Perez?
Yeah, of course.
Perez. They come in pairs.
I like pear vodka. You guys ever have that?
Oh, well, there you go. We just got some insider information from my man Schooley. He said that Cash just announced Thompson as a starter. So there you go. I was looking at Thompson, as maybe one of the guys that was going to come in there. So there you go, man. Coming out with a righty to start the game tomorrow.
And then, like Amy said here, maybe
probably going to lefty early on. Yep. The closer opener, whatever the heck you call it now.
What do you guys think? We kind of talked about how it happens now, but we never really kind of gave our opinion on if you like the kind of evolution that baseball has gone through, and a lot of it has been spurred by the Rays, really, because you can go back to Madden and bring in the fielding kind of to the next level with all these crazy shifts. And then you see kind of Cash now with the Rays, because Cash really kind of started this whole opener type of concept when the Rays were a little bit shorthanded with pitchers and had to get creative.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
I like it, but maybe because I'm just a Rays fan. What do you guys think?
I like it if your team's built for it. It's kind of what they were. Again, I watched a lot of coverage today, and that's the number one thing they talked about is the Yankees doing this yesterday, and how, we talked about Rich Eisen lost his fucking mind on the Yankees. It was hilarious to watch him go completely bonkers over this concept, because it's a small ball kind of move, and the Yankees aren't a small ball club. Like he said, they go out and buy your best guy and make him their number 2. So it was interesting to see how everyone was just taking him to task and saying, hey, you can't do that. But the Rays, on the other hand, of course the Rays can do it because that's how they're built. Sure, we've got our top 3 guys that we can go run out there and they're going to go do the work. But, at any given time, if we need to rest a guy or we need to come in with some kind of strategy, very easily we can come pull this opener. And you got a stable of guys that can throw 98, and you can come out and bring a new guy every inning if you really needed to in certain situations here. So you could easily just go run 7 guys out there tomorrow, have no problem, and be ready to go for the ALCS, and your guys are going to be ready, no problem. So that's what I like about it for the Rays. You don't see the Yankees going to be able to do that. That's what bit him in the ass yesterday. Because if you're going to have the opener, you got to be ready for that guy that comes in after the opener to maybe not be who you're going to go to after that. You have to have a plan, almost batter to batter, if you will, when you're doing it that way. So you got to know what you're doing. Kevin Cash. And let me look. We even saw it in the 9th inning or 8th or 9th inning when they started putting 4 guys in the outfield. The Rays had 4 guys out there, saved a hit.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't see other ball clubs doing that, man. That's the way they play, and I like it. And it's like Romano was saying, they play ball a certain way, and it's really fun to watch, and it's really cool and interesting whenever so many teams are just out there waiting to just go yard and relying on the long ball these days. The Rays are still playing old school style of baseball. And sure, they got guys that are going to jack up everyone in the major leagues now, 1 through 9 are going to go deep, but jacket.
Man, they're the Yankees. Let me say this, though.
I think it's good. I mean, I agree with Stash. I mean, you've got to be built for it. Your team has to be constructed in a certain way where it be successful. And I think that the starting pitcher has sort of been devalued anyway over the last few years. I mean, these guys aren't pitching the way they used to. Nobody ever goes, complete games anymore, very rarely. So now if you pitch 6 innings, that's a quality start. That's, oh man, get this guy out of there before before he implodes. So
right.
I think now you're not seeing these people, these teams shell out big money for starting pitchers. I mean, it does happen. Obviously, Cole got his big deal last year, but I mean, those guys are few and far between now. Now you can throw together 5 or 6 guys for, half the price and then play that way and be just as successful. So yep. I think it's a trend that I think is really going to continue. I really do, because teams are looking to figure out, be more creative from a payroll perspective. And why would you lock up $30 million in a starting pitcher when you can use that to really improve yourself in other places and use openers or use other ways to get through innings,
Yeah, I've always had that problem paying pitchers big money just for the fact that that's a guy that's only going out there every 5 or 6 days. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not getting daily value out of these guys.
30 times a year.
Anyone else, yeah. You know what I mean?
So
it's ridiculous. So yeah, the concept of changing that a little bit and having a little bit more of a pitching by committee, obviously it's a sexy idea, and that's a lot of teams are seeing that and how effective it can be. And I think it's really kind of cool that we're the, like you were saying, we're the freaking OGs down here in Tampa Bay.
Pioneers of all this stuff.
Created it a little bit, and it's not just money ball, you know what I mean? It's a mentality of how you play the game on top of it. You can't, it's one thing to look at the metrics and go and try and find these guys, but then you got to figure out how to execute it. You got to figure out how to make it actually work and be successful year after year. You can't just go, oh, we got to, and I mean, look, even at the Rays now, they went out and they signed Lau to that long contract. That's something they haven't really done in the past. So they went out and got Susugo. They made, they paid the money to get him in here. So there's now kind of being, once you've built that foundation and learn how to win with nothing, once you do get some of these pieces coming in that are actually more of those big star kind of guys, it just only adds even more value to your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me just let John know. Amy says that Brian Anderson does the play-by-play.
Yeah,
or did the play-by-play tonight. So, and Tito with the shout-out, 15 runs in the last 2 games after the loss in the first game. Hell yeah, the Rays are playing well. 8-4 tonight, game 3 of the ALDS. Winners,
Yeah,
picking
and that's the other
dinner
thing I was saying.
for the
Yeah.
Lightning. That's right, Tony. We're always going back to the movie one-liners. This is a Shooter in the Stats production. That is what we are built on.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was even gonna say, man, like I don't remember the last time like the Rays put up double-digit hits like they did in the last 2 games back to back in the playoffs like this. This isn't what you normally see out of the Rays, you know.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
wasn't
really
2
fun
to
to
1.
watch. Yeah, it's
They're
a lot.
jacking home runs. How many home runs did they hit tonight? 1, 2, 3. So they didn't get 4 again, but you know,
Yeah. Thanks for saving them all for this series.
It felt like 5. It felt like 5 home runs.
felt like 100. It
Yeah.
felt like it was just
Yeah, it
home
did.
run after home run. No, it wasn't quite like that. But you know, it like we talked about earlier, it just seemed like it ended really early. It was once KK put the dagger in, and that was the pitch that took Tanaka out too, right?
Yep.
He knocked Tanaka out and then into the bullpen, and not much going on from there. Yeah, we didn't. Did we talk about Stanton yet? We probably gave him a shout out for another blast, right?
I think we mentioned it, or did we talk about it before he came on? He hit number 5, so 5 games in a row. Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah,
That's good.
Some kind of record.
Very good. He's a very good baseball player. All of a sudden,
Yeah, when he's healthy, when he's actually in the lineup, he's very good.
that's true.
Yeah.
But he's been hurt for 2 years. So
Yeah.
And again, I just can't get over how big Aaron freaking Judge is. Guy is a fucking monster. I can't.
The funny thing is, him and Stanton are pretty comparable in size. I think Judge is maybe an inch or 2 taller, but I mean, they're basically the same person.
They are, but he just, for something about when he's batting, he just looks so much bigger than Stanton to me. I don't know what it is. When he just looks like, it's like Hedman out there with the Lightning, how he just looks like a man amongst boys out there all the time. It's the same thing with Judge. Like Judge looks like he's playing with a fucking bunch of little leaguers out there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is true. He's a very large person for a baseball player.
He's like 6'8", right?
Yeah,
it's insane.
Just like Glasnow. Isn't Glasnow 6'8"?
Yeah, but he's a pitcher though too. I mean,
yeah,
tall pitchers.
I didn't realize he was that tall. I guess that's why he has
he's 6'8".
Yeah, those really long fingers.
It's like Randy Johnson at 6'10".
Yeah.
Who else kind of stood out to you guys tonight? I mean, Rosarina played obviously really well. Wendell was 3 for 5.
Perez.
Yankees, Stanton was kind of the standout for the Yankees.
Yeah, you know, one thing about the Yankees, Luke Voit, who was tremendous during the regular season, is hitting under 100 in the postseason. So that's why, man, it doesn't matter what you do. If you don't do it when it really matters, it's kind of tough. I mean, so I think he was over 5 tonight, and yeah, it's great to homer when it's game 20, but when you really need it in the playoffs is when you really need it. And so, anyway,
yeah,
disappointing. I'm disappointed in the way this whole game unfolded. I got to be honest with you, very disappointing.
I have a legit question for a Yankees fan. How do you not love G-Man Choi? Had another RBI tonight. How do you not love that man?
I do like G-Man Choi. I have nothing against him. I like the entire team. I told you before. I like the entire team. I like the way they play. I like the way they grind. Very, very entertaining to watch. I like it all. So,
if I could have one Ray on the show, it would be G-Man. And the ironic part is I would also have to have his translator on the show, which would make for a really long podcast, I feel like. So we'll spare everyone, even if we could get him on. We'll try to get Randy. I don't know.
He's Cuban too, and I don't know how much English he even speaks. Isn't he Cuban? They're saying he's a Cuban Mookie Betts.
You might be right.
I don't think
I don't recall any recent interviews with him, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't think there's any out there.
You've got like only a handful of guys on this, at least on the fielding, as far as the fielders go, that you're gonna go be able to have a regular conversation with.
Hold on, we got a Stash fan here. It is Eugene Thomas.
Who is this guy? Who is that?
It looks like he's enjoying is that an ice cream truck? And he's a Stash fan, it looks like. Stash also drives an ice cream truck.
I do.
Sometimes. Not,
On the
not
weekends.
really. He doesn't sell
Right.
ice cream. He'll eat ice cream in it.
Hey, Shooter, I was going to say this comment here by Scott. So you provoked some interest, shall we say, with your post earlier today about this hypothesis of putting the top of the Trop on Raymond James Stadium, right? What's the deal with that? Talk about that for a second. Yeah.
That was that is the Trop cut in half. They used a big ass saw. They cut the roof right off that SOB.
It's like,
and then know what they had to do?
Chop it in half and put it on top there.
They had to get helicopters, a whole fucking fleet of them.
They just suspend it. They hover it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they bring that bitch up and then bring it right over the bay, and then you just kind of top it right on top of the lights there at Ray J, and you just drop it off. And I think you got a solution where the Rays have to build a stadium in Tampa or convert Raymond James to a baseball field, or they play at St. Pete Little League.
Yeah,
but this all started because this guy JC Cornell had the tweet of the day of he has this report that the city of Tampa is breaking ground in approximately 2 years on a state-of-the-art retractable roof stadium.
And where is that going to be?
I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. I wasn't buying it immediately. I wasn't buying it. Then I thought about it and I was like, no, I have a better idea. Let's just move that big ass Trop top. Let's give Ray J a Trop top.
If they're gonna fucking tear down the Trop anyways, when the Rays go, like, yeah,
that's true.
This is center right across the bay. I'm in.
Gives you a little shade. Not a bad idea. I don't think that rumor is true. I think that has been myth busted.
Has it been debunked?
I think so, but you never know. You never know.
Where would you guys want to see a stadium if they could build one? If money wasn't an issue and they could put it anywhere.
Right on the water in downtown Tampa, but there's no room.
Yeah. Let's tear down the convention center and put it there.
Actually, you know where they should have put it? They should have put it, and I don't know if it would – you could fit it. You could fit it here. You'd have to figure out parking. But right where they put Armature Works, right at kind of where me and the Stash actually watched the Stanley Cup boat parade.
Oh,
right there, you have a decent chunk of land, but of course they built all these like townhouses and condos and apartments there with Armature. They could have maybe built Armature a little bit over more and then maybe had a stadium right there on the riverfront, which I think would have been really cool. Awesome view of the city right behind for all the national games.
On the river. Yeah, man.
That would have been
integrate. Well, because Armature Works was the old that's been a building in Tampa for a long time, right? It's been different municipal buildings or whatnot. Yeah, Ybor is a nice place too.
I was talking about putting it in the old channel side for a while before they made it Sparkles Wharf. And again, that would have been on the water, but I mean, I don't know if there's enough room there. I mean, to put it there.
Yeah, there was the places they were talking about. It would have been a very, very small stadium, and I don't know. Maybe that's the way of the future for baseball, but
that's what they should do. We just talked about them really kind of changing the game of baseball throughout the last decade.
Right?
Why not build a smaller stadium? And didn't someone else just recently build a smaller stadium? Didn't the Braves? Isn't it the SunTrust Park in Atlanta a little bit smaller of a stadium as far as capacity? Yeah. I think 30,000 is plenty for a baseball game, considering how many baseball games you have.
I agree.
And if you have the demand, guess what? You can charge more for tickets. So
considering the market, let's face it, it's not like the Rays are selling out every night. So why would you want to build a 60,000 seat stadium for baseball? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So,
and Eugene says traffic would be horrible. Well, I don't think so downtown. I mean, downtown's got a pretty good infrastructure. Lightning games are never that bad. They're sold out all the time. Yeah. I think where I was talking about a little bit north of downtown, you'd have to add some sort of exit just for the stadium
on North Boulevard. There would have to be some type of Yeah, if you were going to put it there, yeah, you would have to modify North Boulevard. There's someone coming across the river. You might even just be able to make that an extra on and off ramp there. But it's basically a non sequitur anyways, because that land's already been used. So I think I don't know. They were talking about it for a little while, putting in Oldsmar, which I don't mind because it's such a central location. Shooter, we both lived there for years, and it is such a very central Romano too. It's a local, centralized place, and there's plenty of space to do it out there. And the area is a nice place. It's a nice area. I mean, I don't think that'd be the worst place in the world for it either, except for, fuck Hillsborough Avenue.
Do you think is there any chance that this whole split plan with Montreal actually comes to fruition? Anybody think that's a realistic possibility?
I think they still want to do that. I think that is the plan for the Rays.
I just think it's ridiculous. How is this going to work? I mean, I don't know.
Trendsetters. We just our own thing that we praise the Rays for is going to be what has us splitting them with another city.
But who's going to make the playoffs? The Montreal Rays or the Tampa Bay Rays?
Right.
I don't know.
Where they play playoff games.
I don't know if they have thought that stuff through yet. I think it was just an idea, and it just hasn't gone away.
Horrible idea. If they're going to move the team, but don't do that. That's
right.
Ridiculous to me. But I don't know.
Yeah, Tony brings up a good point. We did not bring up those errors in the field tonight, but you know what? Mistakes happen.
The first one wasn't an error. I don't care how they marked it. That wasn't an error.
Yeah, I can't believe that was ruled an error. He wasn't going to throw him out anyway from there, even if he caught it cleanly. So
no way. His body going the wrong way. They, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that was an error. So, but I mean, sure, settle down a little bit if you want. I don't care. That guy he's the heart of the team. He's
he's the Johnny Gomes.
He's Johnny Gomes, exactly. He's a Johnny Gomes. We need that guy.
He's the Patty Maroon.
Yeah,
more 2020 terms for Tampa fans. Robert Broderick, it's just hard to secure fans down here. The majority of people who live in Florida are from somewhere else. You're talking to 3 of them right here. So
yeah, but I think that commentary is old and tired, and I've heard it so many fucking times before. I don't think that's the case. If you have the right product and the right experience, people are going to go. There's a lot of Tampa Bay Rays fans in this area. There just isn't enough fans that can make it work and get to the Trop or want to go down. I mean, I used to like going down there when they started, bringing it back, but now it's so hipster down there, and it's not even fun to go down there now. And now there's so much other stuff going anyways with St. Pete. It's just not really my favorite place to go, to be honest with you. I don't mind St. Pete. I don't have anything against it. Don't come trying to talk shit to me and, oh, fuck you talk shit about that. It's just not my personal favorite place to go. And I know a lot of people are kind of like that, especially if you're a Hillsborough County kind of a person or that side of the Bay. That's just how it is.
What do you like better, St. Petersburg or Montreal?
Well, hey, honestly, I'll take St. Pete obviously over stupid Montreal, but I don't know. I just don't think. I'll just say if we can build a hockey fan base, you can build a baseball fan base, and they're not more interested in hockey. I think that there's plenty of baseball fans in this town, plenty of Rays fans in this town. We've talked about it before. Just the Trop is like going to the circus, man. It's not like going to a baseball game. It's a totally different experience. And if you gave them a stadium to the fans that was a more fan-based baseball, old school baseball experience, I think then the fans are going to show up. And again, like we said, I don't think you need more than 25, 30,000 seats either. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to feel rinky dink. Is the main thing. It can't feel rinky-dink. It's got to feel the same size as a regular baseball stadium.
I think the Oakland A's are doing a small stadium like that.
More standing room areas, and they've done a good job at the Trop of trying to create that concept with what they have. But if they're able to come from the ground up, I think you're going to see kind of how they did at the Forum too, or at Amalie. A lot more standing room areas, a lot more line of sight to the play of field from the concession areas and from the extracurricular areas. That's the other thing I hate about going to the Trop, man. You get up to get a snack and you're missing everything. Same thing about going to Bucks games. I don't really like going to Bucks games for that reason. If I got to get
built in the 80s, that's
exactly. Yep.
And there's so many people that go to games when it's like popular that a lot of people are just there to mingle and socialize. And I think it's smart for Tampa, especially. It seems like a very Tampa thing. I think it's smart to have more of those kind of areas, those open areas where people can kind of just chill and watch the game. This is an interesting comment from Robert here. I didn't really think about this and I kind of dismissed it at first, but kind of makes sense. Because I've always kind of thought that the Bucks had the most fans in Tampa. Then it's the Lightning, then it's the Rays. And I always wondered why, because traditionally hockey is not as popular as baseball in most towns. But maybe there's something to this. Maybe that there's a lot more people that move here from northern, colder, more hockey towns, Canada, if you will. And maybe that's why the Lightning have a little bit more interest than the Rays. And maybe I'm wrong, and you guys can shut me up.
Well, have you been to the Trop and have you been to Amalie Arena? That's all I'm gonna fucking say. I'm done saying it, dude. It's the experience about when you go to the game. It's different. It's a different experience. You used to go to Amalie and it sucked. You didn't like going to games there, and it wasn't just the product. That arena was old and dated, and the concourses were lame, and it wasn't a great experience. Now you go to Amalie Arena, and just going to the arena is as much of an experience as watching the game. That's the difference, man. And also, look at the engagement from the Lightning organization with the city of Tampa versus the engagement of the Rays engagement with the city of St. Pete and city of Tampa. There's none. There's none.
Mm-hmm.
The Lightning have come in and embraced this team as the city, as a city, not just a fan base, but as a city. And the Rays haven't done that. I mean, sure, and we've talked about this before when we did Rays stuff, Shooter. There's no outreach from these guys. You don't see the involvement in the community from the Rays players that you see from the Lightning players and from the organization getting up there and getting involved in the hockey programs and, the kids in the youth levels. You're not seeing that. And I know it happens. Guys have their camps and everything else like that, but it's not to the point it is with the Lightning. It's not about there aren't baseball fans here. There are plenty of fucking baseball fans in this town. There are plenty of Rays fans. Again, like I said, there are plenty of Rays fans. It just isn't fun to go to a Rays game. That's all there is to it. It's not fun to go to a Rays game.
The truth hurts.
And then they took the cigar bar out of there. That pissed me off.
Exactly. And that was one of the only. There were only a few. There's only a few.
Exactly. I would go there and we wouldn't watch the game. We just sit in the cigar bar, have some drinks, smoke, and just watch the game on TV or whatever. And it was
We've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
You and me have. So
there he is. I know why Thomas had to call back in because he wants to give us his opinion on where the Rays should put that stadium.
I've been here 16 years, Robert. I'm not going to go back and forth with you, bro. All right? I'm not going to. I'm telling you right now, there are plenty of fucking baseball fans in this town. All right? I'm done. I'm done going back and forth with you, bro.
Well, it depends who you hang out with, too. I know more hockey fans. It depends, who you hang out with, really, and who you're around. And, if you work at a hockey bar in Bradenton, Sarasota, and Tampa, you're going to know more hockey fans.
You got to put one in Tampa. You can't leave it in St. Pete, I hate to say.
No, I don't think anyone wants to do that except for the mayor of St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Right? Is there anyone here that wants to see another stadium built in St. Pete? I guess the only way you could get me was the first idea they had, which is to have that one right on the water where Lang is.
Why did my camera go?
Yeah, they voted against it because you got to raise the taxes.
Yeah.
The good thing about my phone dying is I got to listen to the post game report from both coaches, and they kind of think that what Cole starts for Cash thinks Cole starts tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like Cash Jr. over here. I'm like Cash Jr.
Yeah, they asked him, they said, what about facing Cole in game 5? And Cash said, don't be surprised if he's out there tomorrow. He's like, we kind of expect him to be out there tomorrow. If not to begin, then some point during the game.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Was he like, I got the stables open. I got the stables open because it doesn't matter.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Got to survive. So if you got to throw them out there at some point tomorrow, you do it. I mean, it's the way it goes. Game 5 is useless if you don't win tomorrow. So
it's the last game of the season. You can't hold anything back here.
Yeah.
Kiermaier gave himself the player of the game.
Yeah, no, that was for Tony, by the way, for the one-liners. Little bit of water boy love. Yeah, I know. I saw that. We saw that too right before we came on. He was like, "Oh, it could be Perez." We always like, but honestly, I'm pretty sure my home run. Like, I totally agree. We were talking about it. That KK home run was really what turned the tide for the Rays in the whole series or the whole game. I mean, stupid camera.
KK knows what's up. He knows when he hits those 3-run dingers in the ALDS on the same day. You're going to see the same thing next year, October 7th. 2021.
That's the date for some reason.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do scores for tomorrow. Any other comments, predictions you guys might have? I'll start it off. Stanton's going to hit a home run. It's going to be the Yankees' only run of the game. The Rays are going to win this one. I don't know, 5-1. And I'm with Cash. I think the Yankees are on the ropes, and I think they need to start Cole. I said it earlier. Then you heard Coach say it.
Hey, if they want to try and really, like we saw, who do they turn to? So I'm not shocked if we see Cole out there. It smells desperate, but when you're desperate, you got to make desperate moves.
They have nobody else, like you said. They have nobody else right now.
They have no one else. So, but I don't see these guys losing focus at the plate. They're locked in. I see them still putting up another 6 or 7 runs again tomorrow. 8, 10, 12 hits again. These guys are locked in. Doesn't matter who's on the hill for them right now. So, and if Cole comes in, he's tired, man. He's tired. I guarantee he's tired. So, I mean, it's only 3 days. It's not, I don't know. I'm not like
it's playoffs.
I know, but still, man. We talk about these guys getting all this money, but again, there's a reason why they only go every 4 days or 5 days or 6 days. You know what I mean? In the regular season, you want to save them, and we've seen it. It's not unprecedented. We've seen a lot of these guys in the past. The big aces go on, 3 days, and do well. But again, and this is a team, like I said, that the Rays that are locked in, and they just saw Cole 2 days ago. So now they're going to go see him again, and he might not be quite as sharp as he was 2 days ago.
He wasn't super sharp the other night either.
Exactly, he really wasn't. So the Rays had opportunities in that first game they weren't quite able to capitalize on. So.
Hey, Stash, you gotta do one of these here. You gotta give it a little rubber thumb or something.
It just went out of focus.
I don't know. One of those spit droplets we're so worried about. Why we gotta wear the mask? Like
I figured we now see Stash how he usually sees us because he's usually 3 sheets to the wind.
I was seeing last night, that's for sure. That's why old Statue wasn't on the show last night. That's about all I was seeing last night for sure. I ain't gonna lie. No shame on me.
That was the comment of the night. You have 1 to 3 stars in the chat, Thomas. No, actually, I do have one. You guys, where was he? Our guy Tony. I liked his Rosarino in the outfield. Yeah. The next Disney classic.
Well, I thought Amy came right back with the good one too. I got that choy down in my heart. That's a solid follow-up. Solid follow-up, Amy.
I know I missed 3/4 of the show, but we talked about it yesterday. If you get to the Yankees pitching early, then you win the game. And I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to get, and it showed it tonight. If we get to them early, I think tomorrow's score is going to be, oh, there we go. I can see clearly now.
Identified the stats.
Clearly now the Rays have won.
I think it's going to be like a 7-2 game.
I agree.
I think that Yankees are just going to be they're defeated, and they know they don't have the hitting outside of Stanton and Judge. They don't.
No. Well, and also, I mean, you talk about, hey, it doesn't really matter. So this is the postseason, the regular season, whatever. We were freaking 8-2 against them in the regular season. You know what I mean? Like, we owned them in the regular season. So now that's got to come into your head if you're the Yankees a little bit. I mean, we couldn't beat these guys in the regular season, and now we got to go beat them back to back. And we don't know if we can trust our pitching. Man,
it's a tall order.
This game is mental compared to every other professional sport. That's the difference about baseball, is how much more mental this game is. And all it takes is a little bit of doubt to be in your head when you're at that plate, or you're in there out in the field trying to make a play. It just takes a little bit of doubt, and it's not your night. So
this Rays teams remind me of the old Braves back when they had Maddox and Avery and all them. You don't have the Cy Young pitchers like they did, but you have the mixture of great pitching along with some great hitters. Yeah. And they went on that little dynasty that they had there. And I think this is it for the Rays with last year and then this year. I think that's what we're going to see here. And it sucks that, you know, for a team that struggles with the money and the attendance, that this would be the time of year that Trop would be full. Just 1 year ago today, I was there at the Trop for that game at Houston. Or yesterday? No, it was today. So literally it sucks that they can't get this, but of course the right ownership is what we need also. And I did bring that up to Mr. Vinnick a long time ago when he sold his share of the Boston Red Sox. I said, "Can you please buy the Rays?" And he said, "Not a chance in hell."
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be different here. Just for the hell of it. I'm gonna say that the Yankees cobble it together tomorrow, pitching wise, whomever it is. They put some runs on the board. They win 6-4. We go to Game 5. Why the hell not? I mean, I can't imagine that they will roll over this easily. I mean, you mentioned the 8 out of 10 during the regular year. A lot of the time, Stanton and Judge were not in the lineup. I think that makes a little bit of a difference. It doesn't make that much difference, but it makes a little bit of difference, I think. So I think maybe tomorrow night they figure it out and they take us to Game 5 and we'll see what happens. Got to have some drama in this thing, right? Can't just go down.
Well, unless we want us, the Yankees guy, to come in here and predict a Rays win. That's no fun for our show. So thanks for that.
That's right.
Thanks for being on trend. We appreciate that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You had one job. You did it tonight. Unlike me, I did not have one job yesterday. So yeah.
It feels weird. It feels wrong to have someone on our show that's not completely biased like us, but we'll accept it.
A Yankees fan is not a fucking homer. Isn't that crazy?
I think we've got our final star of the chat here with Steve's comment. The Stinkies are a one-dimensional team. The Rays are multi-dimensional. That sums it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, it's what we've been talking about for most of this show is that, I mean, they can do a little bit of everything. And the Yankees really can't do much except hit home runs for the most part. So.
Yeah, and the one thing we need to do, talking about you guys' comments and Amy's, is we need to show up when we can get back into the Trop. As much as the Stash hates it there, we'll drag his ass there. I'll drive him. That'll get him. And
bring your own food. You can bring your own food to it.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Bring a snack pack, whatever you got to bring to the game. How can we break that rule
there or no?
How much food can I bring in is the question.
As much as you can carry, probably. I took a pub sub there. So.
Did you really?
Yes.
Can we throw like a 6-pack in there? Do they search for that stuff or no?
I've gotten it inside Emily.
Yeah.
I bet you could. I know a guy.
Yeah.
He
Well,
knows
see,
a guy.
I always knew the old trick at Amelie too. When they used to sell beyond the plaza, you could just go find whatever they were selling, and because they sell basically the same beers. Just stop and get a couple tall boys on the way, and just walk in with them, and they think you purchased them on the plaza.
You can still do it. Same with sodas too.
Yeah. So,
Hey, that's why you check out this show. We got all those tips that everybody realizes. Oh wait, that's the same can I can buy at the gas station that they sell outside, and I can bring it in.
And they can just walk in with it.
There you go.
Damn it, I forgot to let you listen to the show. Shit, they're gonna change that now.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's over. No, but at least
Thanks,
buy the
Dash.
ticket, please. As we're going back to supporting the team, you don't have to buy the beer there. Buy the ticket though. Buy the merch and sport it around Tampa, because this is our year. We got to soak it up, and we got to reward these teams somehow who are definitely getting screwed financially out of us not being there, because these games would be sold out. Amy was there last year for Game 3, one of the best crowds she's ever been a part of. So let's make sure we go back when the doors open and we're able to get in there to see them next season. Deal?
Sure.
Romano's in. Yeah. You can cheer against the Red Sox with us.
As long as you can make us stop at $5 and do some picklebacks, I'm in.
There you go. I want to. Yeah, exactly. I like that idea. Now, are you guys like Ferg still or no? Is Ferg's out?
No, I mean that's still one of the OG places. I still love Ferg.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's still definitely a pillar of the community out there. So
for sure.
You got some nice spots down there. I mean, it's really not that bad to make a day trip out of it.
Through all the hipster bullshit, yes.
I mean, I like breweries.
Me too.
I do too.
Some good ones down there. So, all right. Any last comments from you guys? Or are we going to get out of here until next time?
Sure.
Raise up.
Raise the fuck up, because this is looking fun. This is looking like it's going to go for a while. So I'm in. I'm excited.
I hope we have a Game 5 just for the hell of it, because it's the most fun scenario.
No, it's not.
The
most fun scenario is to get it over with.
Before the ALCS.
What fun is that?
Let's move on.
I don't care about your rest. I don't care about that.
On to the Astros.
I don't care about your joy.
Yeah, that's right.
The Yankees, listen, how many championships have the Yankees won? I know it's tough to remember.
27.
Yeah, well, let the new guys on the block get in there. We haven't
won one since 2009. It's been a long time, man. Long time.
We've never won. It's okay.
Yeah.
11 years. It's been more than a decade. Oh.
That's exactly what I do. It's exactly what I sound like, just like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it must be tough.
I know you well. How long have I known you?
Yeah, don't worry. That's just a Cowboys fan. He knows.
Hey. That's another show. That's a horse of another.
I'm signing us up. Stash, don't miss your cue here. We, the 98ers.
You totally didn't set me up right. That was weak.
No, you're supposed, for the outro, you're supposed to do it after. I say we, the 98ers. Okay, we can do it your way. We, the 98ers. See, I was going to have you do it afterwards.
No, I like it better.
Go right.